We're making a vegetable lasagna, and to do this, we're using 3 Congo-sized carrots, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half a teaspoon of salt and black pepper, a pack of drum wheat lasagna sheets, 2 cups of mozzarella, 1 courgette, 1 onion, 1 red pepper, because red are the best, 2 cups of cottage cheese, bag of spinach, and I couldn't be asked to make a sauce, so I just got some Mio lasagna thing. I'm a little low on cheese because I didn't actually specify how much I needed, but it's okay, we'll improvise. Anyways, we're getting these carrots nice and clean, as well as this courgette. And finally the pepper. Fun fact, there aren't actually green, yellow or red peppers, they just change colour as they ripen. Here comes the best part, a butt ton of chopping. We're starting off with the carrots. We shave down our 3 carrots and then cut them into slices. We do the same for our pepper and our courgette. The courgettes were looking a little too thick, so I cut them again. Next, we peeled and chopped the onion. This onion was an arsehole, just kept falling apart, but we emerged victorious. Anyways, here's all our chopped ingredients. A nice rainbow coloured chopping board. I then looked at the instructions again, and apparently you need a food processor for this recipe. Except I don't have one of those, so I just cut the veg again into quarters. I didn't record that bit, so if you're following along, you're gonna have to figure that part out for yourself. Now, once we got our pan nice and oiled up, we start adding our LGBTQV ingredients. There's Mum in the background having a moan, and there's me just telling her what she wants to do. Moving on, we give it a nice stir and cook between 8 to 12 minutes until golden. Then you want to add the spinach. The recipe says about 5 to 6 ounces, but I don't know what an ounce is, so I just add the whole thing. My spinach was also expired, so I skipped this part. Now we're adding half the cottage cheese to a mixing bowl, and we're supposed to pulsate this in a food presser, but as we learned earlier, I don't have one of those, so I'm just giving it a whisk with a fork. Now we're adding the veg to the cottage cheese, then we give it a mix until it looks like someone got a little bit too excited for a vegetarian lasagna. Then we're adding the rest of the cottage cheese to the bowl and mixing. Don't ask me why we didn't just do this all together, I'm just following orders, said the Nazi. Next we're shredding the mozzarella. This wasn't even close to being enough, so I hope you got some cheddar laying around. Oh, and don't forget to add half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. I may have added a little bit more than half. Now comes the fun part, lasagna assembly time. Grab an oven-proof dish and use about half a cup of tomato sauce to base the bottom. I use one of these paintbrush thingies to help get an even spread. Once you've done that, grab your lasagna sheets, I'm using drum wheat for extra healthiness, and layer the entire bottom with 3 sheets. I didn't listen the first time, so I only did 1 layer, but don't worry, we fix that later. Now you're going to want to spoon half of your LGBTQV mix on top of your sheets and layer it as evenly and flat as possible. Then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of tomato sauce and again take our way to a nice level spread. Next you want to add 1/3 of your mozzarella. I used half because I didn't have enough, and once again spread them. It's at this point I realise I fucked up, but I managed to slide 2 more layers under the mix to salvage it. Now we're adding another 3 layers on top of the mix, and then the rest of our goodies. Once you spread that, add another 1/3 of your mozzarella, or in my case, the rest of it. The recipe actually said to skip a tomato layer on this bit, but I didn't trust them, so I added a little. Almost done, you want to add your final layer of 3 lasagna sheets. I had an extra 2, so I thought I'd chuck them on top, which I later regretted because it tasted like cardboard. So yeah, I advise not going overboard with the sheets. Now dollop the rest of your tomato sauce on top and spread. Then you want to add the rest of your mozzarella. I ran out, so I used a bit of cheddar instead. The lasagna still looked a bit sad, so I brightened it up by sprinkling about a tablespoon of thyme on top. Shh, don't tell Mum I use my fingers. Next, I wrapped the dish with some tin foil and popped it in the oven that had been preheating for over 20 minutes at 200 degrees. Sots about that planet. You want to bake your cake for 18 minutes, enough time to start some cleanup, especially because this is a messy boy. Then you want to remove the foil, give it the old spinneroo, and bake it for another 15 minutes. Bless me. Then remove it from the oven and let it cool for about 10 minutes. Then it's finally ready to serve. Sorry, I forgot to record the spatula part. Let's move on to the most important part, the taste test. There it is in all its cheesy glory. There I am, eating like an absolute animal. Not gonna lie, this was hot as hell, so I struggled to get it down. Oh, there goes a piece. But yeah, overall, it was good. It was good. Probably not make it again good, but good.